Hi, I'm Jen and I'm going camping, and I am so excited to be here today because this trip is going to be so much fun. It's going to be a whole whack of firsts for me. I'll explain as we go along. Right now, I've got my permit, I've got my tag on my car. I just want to get on the water and get out there, and I am so excited to be here today. All right, so I mentioned this is a weekend of firsts for me. To start off with, I'm doing 2 nights in Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park. I've gone into the Coon Lake access. Here's the beautiful lake behind me. And one of the big firsts is this is the first time I will be taking my inflatable kayak on a trip. I've never used it for that before. Let's see if I can show you here. Here she is. We're loaded up. Got all my gear in there. And yeah, I've played around with the inflatable kayak out on the river and on a lake, goofing around, but I haven't done a trip with it yet. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Could be epic or it could be an epic fail. We'll find out. All right, so I keep talking about firsts on this weekend. There's a lot of firsts. First maiden voyage of my inflatable kayak, and I am loving it so far. This thing is so stable and so comfortable. Like I'm so happy with it. This is really exciting for me. I think I already mentioned I'm currently paddling Coon Lake. I'm in Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park. And another first for me is this is my first time exploring this end of the lake, which is pretty crazy because I practically grew up in this park before it was a park. Camped here so much with my family, with friends, and with scouts, and then as an adult with my partner and friends and family, and yeah, but I've never been to this section of the park before, so this is all very new and exciting. Yeah, so maiden voyage of the inflatable kayak so far, really liking it. First time in the southernmost part of the Kawartha Highlands Provincial Park. There's a lot of cottages, but they're beautiful. I love seeing it, and it actually makes me feel kind of comfortable because the last big first for me is this is my very first time backcountry canoe or kayak camping solo. This is my very first time going solo backcountry camping. I've done solo car camping, solo hiking camping, but never solo like backcountry paddle camping. So this is yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so happy. This is great. This is a whole new thing for me that I'm already enjoying. Of course, we'll see how the night goes. But anyways, I have to keep paddling. I got a little ways to go and then the portage. But yeah, I'll check back at the portage. Okay, so I was going to film coming into the portage in the boat so that you see what it's like, but two things stopped me. First, there's a whole bunch of cottagers hanging out on their dock, and I didn't want them to be like, who's this crazy woman talking to herself in the inflatable kayak? And secondly, I'm going to show you, this was the tangled mess of branches I had to weave through to get to the portage, so I was a little focused on getting in safely. But she's a steep one, 665 meters, and the first part is basically straight up, so this could be fun. We'll call it fun. Alrighty, I'm about 3/4 of the way across the portage. Now I started off trying to do this as a single carry. I had my packs, as you see here, double packed, which, you know, in full disclosure is not the safest way to go. But I've done it lots of times and I know to mind my footing. But the first 150 meters was pretty much straight up and trying to balance the kayak on my shoulder and mind my feet and mind the straps. It was just a little too much. So made it about 3/4 of the way and I just left the kayak and the paddle. And I'm going to take all the packs, have a little water, and then I'll come back and get the kayak. No big deal. The way out will be a little bit easier. I'll know what I'm dealing with, plus all the food will be gone, and everything will be a little bit lighter. So, lesson learned. Alright, so portage complete. Not too bad. Learned a couple things. Definitely feel that next time, instead of having 2 packs, one for my food and equipment and one for all my other stuff, I should just get a big pack and put it all in. I was concerned about balancing out the kayak for paddling, and in terms of paddling, that did work. Having the small pack between my feet kept the bow under control, the big pack behind me, me in the middle, that was balanced really nicely. But for doing the portage, single carry, really, really awkward with the 2 packs. So I'll have to come up with a system, maybe just a bigger pack with a stuff sack with some things in it that I can just quickly pull out, put in the front, and then throw back in for the portaging. But right now I'm looking at another very pokey, sticky entrance. Probably just overly nervous because it's my first time out with the inflatable, but I'm going to take my time, go nice and cautious, wiggle my way out through here, and then my site is around this little island and over that way, so should be there very soon. It's not far. Alright, so not so bad. A lot more graceful getting into the boat that time than it was the other time. Definitely going to be practicing that. I think I'm just still a little skittish about the fact that it's an inflatable. I'm worried about getting in too hard and hitting something pokey. But this little bay is just beautiful, and I'm thinking when bass season hits, might have to come back. So coming up on my campsite, site 471, Little Turtle Lake. Not bad. It's so close to the portage, like literally there's like this little island here, the portage is right there. But that's okay, this lake is tiny, so tomorrow I'm looking forward to exploring it, maybe portaging into the next lake, which I believe is called Adams Lake, and just kind of getting lay of the land. But so far I like this lake. It's very picturesque, very pretty, very quiet, which is nice. So I'm in the site, and I really like it. Actually, I was just getting out of the boat, and this huge fish jumped, made the biggest splash. It was pretty cool. So yeah, I really like this. This is definitely a sunset site. As you can see, it's about 6:30 in the evening, and the sun is just pouring in on me right now. I definitely, where my fire pit is, here I'll kind of give you the tour. Here's my fire pit here, and there's a convenient log, which is kind of nice. But yeah, I'll be able to sit here and enjoy the sunset while I'm having my campfire. And yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Although I've got to show you the trail to the Thunderbox. This is insane. So I'll get a little closer so you can see it. But if you see here, you go up over this rock, it goes down, there's like a seasonal creek, and it goes straight up. And that is Thunderbox up there. I'm going to walk a little closer. This is nuts. I'm glad I'm a pea-in-the-bush kind of girl, because this hike would be treacherous at nighttime. I couldn't even imagine. So here it goes like almost straight down, and then you can see there's like a little bay area here and a bit of a seasonal creek. Boop, 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 boop. And then it goes straight up, and then the Thunderbox is way up there. I mean, it's a loo with a view, but come on, that is craziness. Actually, this site, there's like this big limestone ridge here. This site is almost an island. I imagine if the water was really high, it would be a bit of an island, which is kind of cool. So that's good to know. All right, I got to get some stuff set up. Like I said, it's 6:30. I've got a couple of hours of sunlight left. I still need to eat some dinner, and yeah, get myself organized. So the last minute, I was going to bring just a tarp, but at the last minute I decided to trade out an overly heavy sleeping bag for a much lighter sleeping bag and bring my Eureka No Bug Zone. I just kind of got the fear. May long weekend, the bugs were intense, and I really didn't want to be dealing with that this weekend. And I thought, even though my Hennessy hammock has the netting on the top, I didn't want to have to hide there when the bugs got bad in the evenings. Figure with the No Bug Zone, I can hang my hammock up inside of it, and I can still hang out and enjoy the view and relax when the bugs get too much for me. Although, there's a little breeze right now, it's not too bad. So my hammock is set up, and I'm really happy with where I've got it. I've got it set up. Now I'm going to set up my no bug zone over top of it. And the no bug zone has this really ingenious zipper system that allows you to put a hammock inside of it, which is pretty cool. So of course it just occurs to me now that I probably should have set the bug zone up first, because for that fun zipper system to work, I have to pass the rope from the hammock through it. So this is going to take a little finessing, but we'll figure it out. Alright, I think it's time for another tour. So I've moved the picnic table so that it has a view of the fireplace if I'm sitting on the bench, but also so I can tie my bug zone to it, which is very convenient. And now it's all kind of compact here. I'll come up close. I'll show you what I was talking about with the zipper system that I apparently struggled with. So there's two zippers here that go around your tie out for your hammock, and at the bottom is a third zipper for getting into the shelter itself, which is pretty cool. And we'll have a look inside a little bit here. Hopefully you can see through the netting. Kind of, sort of. You can see my hammock is inside there, hanging up, kind of independent, but I have piles of space for my gear. Everything's out of the wind, out of the rain, protected from the bugs. I can hang out if I need to. It's huge. It feels like Shangri-La. It's such a large shelter for just one person, but I think I'm going to appreciate having a space to get away from the buggies. Alright, so it's getting close to 7 o'clock. Next up, I need to get some firewood, get some fire going, because I need to cook dinner still. Love this saw. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, the company that makes it, I believe, went out of business. But I have noticed online there's lots of rip-off companies doing the same design. And as you can see, this poor blade is pretty rusted. We're going to have to switch it up soon. I'm just tighten this little wing nut here. And it brings the saw all nice and tight together. Very nice. Only real flaw in this design was it comes with this stupid little plastic pin that goes in these holes here to hold all the parts in when you pack it up. And of course it breaks or gets lost like on the first trip. Well, I found this pin at Warsaw Caves Conservation just hiking the road. I just saw it there. I'm like, that'd be perfect for the saw! So I grabbed it, and it is perfect for the saw. It works fantastically. So I'm always afraid we're going to lose it. I'm sure it's like a 15-cent part if I went to Home Depot. But wildlife. Little bitty green guy. So cute. Alright, well, it's very warm. It is very muggy today. The breeze is basically gone. So the bugs are out too, which is, it is what it is. But I've gotten piles of firewood. I mean, I guess that's the fear, right? When you're out on your own, everybody says, just have a big fire, you'll feel great. So, probably overdid it. I mean, I was a little concerned when I got here because the site, like I said, it has that big limestone ridge behind it, and I'm like, oh, if I can't explore up and over that ridge, how am I going to find wood? But I took the Thunderbox Trail of Death, which I will probably film myself climbing up tomorrow because it's like straight up. And just past the Thunderbox was a whole pile of standing deadwood. So I've felled 2 trees, and I have so much firewood now. It makes me very happy. But I also really like to leave some for the next camper. So definitely more than enough than what I need for tonight and for most of my day tomorrow. And I'll be able to leave a little bit for the next person probably as well. So this is nice. I'm all sappy now because it's all softwood here, unfortunately. So next I'm going to get my gravity feed water filter going. This is probably overkill for a single person camping. It's a 4-liter bag, but I love the convenience of it. It's not heavy by any means. I love filling this thing up, hanging it on a tree, and just having a steady supply of water for hours. Makes me happy. Excuse me. So I'm going to get this filled up with water, fill up my water bottle, drink the rest of it, of course, too, and then it's going to be time to get a fire going and start cooking some dinner. Yeah, I'm really happy that things are going well. Pretty nice out here. All set. I'm not always super successful with birch bark and my fire steel, but as backup I also have the Vaseline coated cotton balls, which works really nicely for starting a fire. I'm going to turn that on a bit, I think. But we'll give it a whirl, see what happens here. Okay. And I actually haven't seen many birch trees out here, so I'm glad I always bring a little bit of birch bark with me. Alrighty. Get back here. Well, that was fun. Let's try the Vaseline coated cotton balls. The deer flies are definitely out. You could probably hear them. Alright, sorry guys, battery died right while I was in the middle of talking to you there, but I'm going to try my Vaseline coated cotton balls here. Got it all fluffed up. There it goes. More birch bark going. Fire wood on there. This is really cool. Put my grill down and I came across a dragonfly chrysalid here. Very cool. It's all crunchy. It's very cool to see. Very neat. So dinner tonight is not anything terribly exciting. It is just a, once around the kitchen, what do I have, what can I take, kind of a meal. Mostly because I decided to come out here last night at 10 o'clock. So what I've got is a sidekick meal called roasted garlic pesto with volante pasta. So squirrely pasta basically. So I'll have to boil that. And then, to make it a little bit better for me, I have I threw a can of tuna in my dehydrator last night, and I dehydrated, so I have a full can of tuna in here. I have a couple sun-dried tomatoes that I'm going to throw in as well, and then also some pre-bought dehydrated veggie mix that I get at my bulk food store that I usually keep a couple cups of it in an airtight container in my cupboard just for last-minute trips. While I feel I went pretty lightweight with all my meals, I did overdo it. I definitely brought too much food for sure, but makes me feel better. Alrighty, so some water. Not sure if you guys have ever noticed before, but it's actually measurements on the side of your Nalgene bottle. So when I'm reading these instructions, it says 1 3/4 cups or 425 milliliters. I saw I had 500 milliliters in here. I remove it so that I'm down around less than 100, so I know I got my 425 in here. There we go. Doesn't have to be exact. Alrighty. Oh, and a little bit of olive oil, which I have. So this says basically bring your water to a boil, pour this in, let it simmer for 8 minutes. I'm going to throw in my dehydrated tuna and vegetables right now because they will need a little bit more time. And I can also add more water if necessary. Alrighty, let's get this guy on the fire. Alrighty, so I don't know how much more I'm going to film tonight. I've already blown through one battery and I do have a charger to charge them, but right now I just am looking forward to getting some pepper into me. I've made myself a little rum and lemonade drink here. And then I have to get it processing firewood and get some bigger wood cut down. The thing with all this softwood, it burns really fast and you'll go through it faster than you think. I just have a little bitty fire going to keep my dinner going. The steam's coming out, it's doing its thing, but I'm going to open this thing up, get lots of light going later, so I'm going to need some wood cut down. So that's where my evening is at. Oh, and the noise I heard when I first got here, I heard a splash, and I was all excited. I thought, oh my gosh, it's like a really big fish. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's beavers. I've heard a few more tail flaps and jumps out in the water over in like this marshy area, so I'm pretty sure I've got a couple curious beavers hanging out, which, that's cool, but beavers tend to be nocturnal and annoying, so it could be a long night. We'll see how it goes. And this is goose poop. It's like somebody dropped a splash of paint in the middle of my main sitting area. Not impressed. Not impressed with the geese. So, it's been a wonderful evening so far. I am so happy and so relaxed, and yeah, I'm really proud of myself for trying this. And I was nervous the whole drive up and thinking, what if, but everything's been going great, and got a nice little fire going. The sunset was absolutely stunning. I have turtles. I just saw a turtle go down in the water right near me, and I'm pretty sure there's beavers just hanging out over here. They slap their tails every once in a while, so but I'm pretty tired. I worked all day today and then rushed to get up here and get set up and then to over collect firewood because I'm a little nervous, of course. So yeah, it's about 9 o'clock. I think once I get to the stage where I need to turn a lantern on, I'll probably hit the hay, let the fire burn down, pour a little water on it, and yeah, might read a little bit. I brought a book and see how I do and try to get a good night's sleep. And tomorrow's a new day. I'm really excited to explore this lake. I mean, the more I kind of look at it and look around, there's all kinds of little islands and bays and inlets and lots of small wildlife, which I'd love to go see and explore. So yeah, I think tomorrow's going to be a fun day. I'm looking forward to it. So good night, everybody. There goes the beaver into the bay. I think I'm going to be listening to these guys all night. Lucky me. Alright, so I'm all snuggled in to sleep. And I'm relaxing. And I'm hoping you can hear it. But I'm pretty sure those are whippoorwills, which are a nocturnal bird, which is pretty funny. I have a very nocturnal sight of beavers, and they're always up all night long, and whatever that bird is. And there's bullfrogs and peepers and stuff. It's like a whole party going on outside my campsite. It's pretty funny. It's really hilarious. But I'm hoping that they all go to sleep soon because I'm tired. And I would like to get some sleep. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get tonight. Actually, funny story, getting in. So earlier, I set up the hammock and then I went to set up the bug zone, and I forgot that you had to do the bug zone first and then do the rope of the hammock through the special zipper system. And so I'm like, oh crap. So I quickly fixed it, and at the direction of my feet, that tie out, I just quickly put it up. And I thought, oh, I'll fix it later. I gotta get some firewood, get dinner going. So foolish mistake, because I went to get into bed and I got all my comfies on and all my stuff, and I sit down in the hammock and whoop, just the knot gave, the really bad quickie knot that I did, and my bum hit the ground so hard. Oh my gosh. So I had to get up and get my headlight and try to fix, well, I did fix it. I tied it up properly. But that teaches you, don't do the quick fix. Do it properly the first time, or you will land on your butt. And while I was tying up the hammock properly the second time, or third time actually, something like hit the netting on the bug zone. I'm like, what is happening right now? I had my headlight on, so I like looking over and I'm like, what are you doing? And it's just like this bird just sitting on a rock. It's like the size, I don't think it was a grouse. It's like the size of a fat pigeon. Just sitting there staring at me, watching me tie up the hammock. I'm like, hey bud, how's it going? So anyways, he flew off, and shortly after that, maybe he's a whippoorwill. I'm gonna have to look him up. I don't know how big they are. But it was shortly after he flew off that I started hearing all the birds, the whippoorwills. So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting night, I think. Good morning. Had a pretty good night's sleep. There was lots of coyotes and birds and frogs all night long. It was pretty cool. Then woke up at 6:30 when a chipmunk got into the edge of the bug zone somehow. And poor little guy couldn't get out. And I'm like, I can't help you, buddy. Sorry, you can do it. And he did. He found his way out eventually. But he's just running around like laps. Just throwing himself at the side. I'm like, I'm sorry, friend. Anyways. It's a little after 9. And, yeah, I've had a nice time just relaxing in the hammock and looking out at the lake. And but it's getting warm now, so it's time to get up, get some coffee, get some breakfast going, get cleaned up a little bit. Yeah. Oh, it is super comfy in here, that's for sure. All right, time to get today started. All right, so I said I'd get a video of me trying to climb the path of death up to the thunderbox. So here we go. I thought I'd show you, there's tree pollen everywhere. I don't know if you can kind of see that. It's crazy. So everything I left out last night on the table, which wasn't a lot, just my dishes, is covered in tree pollen. So I'm glad I'm not allergic to that. All right, time to make my coffee. So this is my collapsible GSI coffee perk, single cup coffee perk. Works really nice. Comes with a pointless lid that doesn't even snap on. I don't really know. I left it at home. I don't know what it's for. It doesn't stay on, so it doesn't really work as a lid. Now, I brought paper filters, but I've actually got some cheesecloth at home that I'm going to experiment to see if I can make myself a reusable coffee filter for it. And you simply pour your hot water through it like your drip percolator at home. Works exactly the same way. Pretty nice. Pour it out down there. I got this in the wintertime, and I've had it on a couple trips now, and I really enjoy it. Usually I'm the first one up, so I can make just one cup of coffee instead of making a whole perk. I can only bring a small stainless coffee perk. And by the time everybody else gets up, the coffee's cold, and I feel bad. So this is nice because this way everybody gets a hot cup of coffee as you go along through your morning. Thought I'd go for a little exploring paddle today. And got my tripod set up. I think I'm in frame. I hope I am. Otherwise, you're just getting a nice view of the lake. The wind was coming up quite a bit this morning. I was a little worried about how the inflatable would handle. It's not too bad. I mean, I don't really have any weight in it. I just brought a little day pack with my food and sunblock and whatnot. Some snacks. Yeah, it's not too bad. Definitely with backpacks in it, like yesterday, it was so nice. It tracked really, really nice. Apparently there is like an optional skeg you can buy to attach, but I don't think I need it, to be honest. Maybe if I get into doing longer trips. I think before that I would invest in a better paddle, to be honest. Yeah, it's a beautiful day to be out, that's for sure. So I'm at the other campsite on Little Turtle Lake, campsite 470. It's an east-facing site. Looking this way. My campsite is over there. And here's another example of the pollen right now, the tree pollen. Look at that, like gooey almost. It's so thick. I couldn't even see how deep the water was when I was getting out of the boat. All right, let's go take a tour. And yes, I've still not mastered the graceful entry and exit, that's for sure. We'll get there. Oh, this is nice. Very flat, very open. Somebody left some wood for the next person. That's really nice. Actually, your campfire spot's got a gorgeous view. That's very nice. Yeah. Little picnic table, kitchen area over there. Another tent pad back there. Looks like the trail to the Thunderbox. Yeah, it's a nice site. On a peninsula though, so similar to my experience at my site, you'd probably struggle with finding campfire wood close by, but not too bad. All right, time to keep on going. Froggy, froggy, froggy. How you doing? Coming up here is the portage into Adams Lake. It's only 67 meters, really short, looks fairly flat. So I think we're going to go and check it out. Maybe paddle around Adams a little bit. See what it's all about. Still very cautious with all my approaches. Looking for sticks. A little less fall in here so I can actually see what's in the water. This is a beauty landing, actually. All right, time to explore. So this is interesting. Oh, we have a beaver lodge in the middle of the bay, which is kind of nice. But there's two portage signs. There's one over here, and there's one over there. So I don't have my map out. It's in my backpack. I did not realize there were two portages off of this teeny weeny itty bitty lake. So let's go investigate. See what the signage says. To be honest, the far one looks like it's the top of a beaver dam. The whole lake could just be because of the beavers, to be honest. There's the one. It says oh, I see. It's the low water portage. I can't even read that. Fossil Lake or something? I'm not really sure. I'll have to check that out on the map. But that's the low water portage. Oh my gosh. I have accidentally come across a loon nest. I don't know if I'll be able to zoom in on this for you to see it. Shoot. She is beautiful. I'm going to give her a wide berth. I can't tell if you guys can see that or not. Wow, that is amazing. She's just chilling, doing her thing. So hidden, so quiet. Alright, I'll leave her alone for a moment. Check out what's going on over here. Yeah, this is definitely a massive beaver dam. Wow. Alright, this is printed much better. This is a very short 10-meter carryover to Sawmill Lake. Very easy one. I'm going to try not to get too close. I am in an inflatable, but you can tell this is the top edge of the beaver dam. I hope you get an idea of distance here. This is crazy. Wow, I have never seen a nesting loon before. Like that was amazing. I did not stay long in that bay. I gave her a wide berth, snapped a couple pics real quick, and got out of there quietly. I don't want her being upset, but man, I said this was going to be a weekend of firsts, and it sure is. That's an unexpected one, but I'll take it. Papa Loon, he definitely was checking. He was popping up and not close, but keeping an eye on things, just making sure I wasn't being a shit disturber or anything. But yeah, that was so cool. I hope the pictures turn out. I didn't want to get close. I wanted to not stress her out and just get out of there, but that was very cool. All right, time to keep exploring, see what else we can find. Well, it's getting close to 1 in the afternoon, and I've explored my lake and the next lake and had lots of fun. I'm not particularly hungry, but it is time to go back to camp and get lunch going. When you're out camping, you know, you're outside all the time, you're doing a lot more activities than you normally would, you're burning a lot more calories. It's really important to stay hydrated and to keep the fuel levels up. I mean, it's easy to get carried away having fun, swimming or fishing or collecting firewood or whatever you're doing, and go hours without eating anything or drinking anything, and then you become dehydrated and a bit hungry, and that's when you get clumsy and a little foggy and a little hangry. And that's what you want to avoid, because at that point, like, that's when mistakes happen and injuries happen, and it's just not worth it. So it's better to just stay on a simple plan of eating your meals at regular times, eating snacks in between, drinking as much water as you can, and then you won't have that issue. Because yeah, afterwards it sucks. You end up crashing, you need to sleep early, you miss out on everything. So gonna go back, make some lunch, whether I'm hungry or not, get some energy into me. So, it's time to prep lunch. And today I am trying a new recipe, dehydrated Greek pasta salad. But to go along the theme of first, I'm trying a different method, which is the cold soak method. I've never done this before, but I've been seeing online and in videos, so many thru hikers and backpackers are ditching their stoves on their trips, and they are cold soaking all their meals. And this kind of fascinated me. I'm like, does it taste as good? Is it okay? Like, would I like it? And I realized it's just, there's no reason why it wouldn't taste okay or be good. So that's what I'm going to try to do with my dehydrated Greek pasta salad. I came up with this recipe because we were getting really bored with our lunches. You know, you get fishing and swimming and doing all the things, and nobody wants to fire up the stove or get a fire going to boil water to make soup or whatever. Or maybe you brought out wraps, but you're just not in the mood, and it's a lot of prep work, and then there's dishes involved. And I thought, we need some good, healthy, filling lunches to take camping that have minimal work on the trail. So that's why I'm going to try the cold soak method with my Greek pasta salad, essentially. So my understanding of it is that I'm basically just going to cover my meal with water, and I'll put a little bit of olive oil on this as well for texture. And then I just leave it for half an hour, check it out, give it a stir, see where we're at. That's kind of what it looks like dehydrated there. Alright, so I'm going to put the lid on that, and it's going to sit here on my table. Yeah, and hopefully in half an hour we'll be eating lunch. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty, it's been half an hour, and you can see there's still quite a bit of fluid in here. It is getting softer, but it's definitely not ready. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the pot in the sun, and that kind of passive heat will hopefully help it to hydrate faster. So my site is pretty shady, which is nice. It gives you some relief from the heat. But I've been kind of moving from sunny spot to sunny spot last hour just reading a book. And I just moved to my new sunny spot, and I spotted something over here that I haven't seen one of these in ages. And it's almost spent, but it's a pink lady slipper. These are so gorgeous. They're members of the orchid family, and they're just so beautiful. I can't believe it. There's no more. I don't see any more around. I kind of hunted a bit, just this one, but that was a nice find. So I've been relaxing in the sun and reading for a while, waiting for my lunch to kind of cold soak, I guess. Definitely putting it in the sun for the passive heat helped. It softened it right up. Most of the moisture is gone. I think I put too much water in it. There's a little bit of water in there, but it's not that big of a deal. Kind of like extra salad dressing, I guess. That's really good. I'm really happy with that. I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at the feta cheese. It just tastes like straight out of the fridge feta cheese. That is really good. Really, really good. Even the black olives are all just like perfect. This is definitely a winner. This will be going in the regular lunch rotation, I think. I think the only difference I'd do is I think I would use orzo pasta, which is a much lighter pasta. It's very small, and I think it would rehydrate a lot faster than the elbow noodles would. So for cold soaking, it would only take half an hour to 40 minutes. This was about an hour, yeah, just under an hour, so not too bad. Like I said, the great thing about the cold soaking method is you can, be doing your things, fishing, swimming, having fun, just throw some water on this, put the lid on, and just walk away, continue doing all your stuff, and just leave it, on the picnic table while you're doing your stuff around the campsite, and then come back to it and you've got lunch. I imagine if you were doing a trip where you were going from point A to point B, and you weren't just hanging out around your campsite, I would probably just bring a spare Nalgene bottle and put this in and add the water, screw it up, and just throw it back in my pack so that when I get to the point where I want to eat my lunch, it'll be all soaked and ready to go. The longer the better, obviously. So you could do that partway through your morning travel time, and it would be ready for lunchtime, no problem at all. And it's not any heavier than the water you're already carrying in your Nalgene bottle anyways. So yeah, definitely a lot of potential with this one. And yeah, I'm excited to try it again and to finish it off because I'm getting hungry now. So yeah, like I said, I've got a little traveler friend here. There's going to be a separate video from kitchen to campfire that will be all the steps to make this. Just if you have interest and you want to see what goes into making the dehydrated Greek pasta salad and any special considerations considering it's going to be dehydrated, check out that video. But otherwise, yeah, this is a really good lunch. I really like this a lot. Nice on a hot summer day to have a cold salad. That's really yummy. That was a nice surprise. Just had a couple boats come past, a canoe with a couple paddlers, and pointed them in the direction of the portage and chatted a little bit. And I think they were just as much in awe of the coyotes last night and all the birds as I was. And yeah, it was nice. It was weird because so far I haven't seen or heard anybody out here, so I was a little shocked. I'm sitting there reading, I look up and there's a big red canoe coming down the lake. I'm like, oh my gosh, people! But anyways, now I'm on a quest to find some birch bark. In my adventure today, when I was out paddling, I kind of kept my eyes peeled, but I didn't see any birch trees. And I'd like to get some birch bark for starting the fire tonight. Now, ironically, I said goodbye to the paddlers. I turned and looked behind me, and I noticed way out that way, there is a birch tree. So unfortunately, I have to climb the Thunderbox Trail of Death to get to where that birch tree is, but I'm going to be careful, have a look, and a little exploring, and see if I can get myself some birch bark. Well, I made it over here, but I don't know about getting close to these trees. They are on a very steep slope. I was kind of hoping there would be some downed branches. Oh, there's a little one that I could harvest bark from, because I don't want to peel it right from the trees if I can help it. But this will work. Right, nice little haul of birch bark. Hopefully we can get our fire going with this tonight instead of having to use the cotton ball trick. Alright, so time for dinner. Tonight's dinner is not what I would normally do. I like to make our meals and dehydrate them and bring them out on the trail as much as possible. But this trip, I was very last minute. Like Friday night, 10 o'clock, I decided, like, I'm going to go. You know, my partner couldn't go out. I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a solo trip. I'm going to use the inflatable kayak. I'm going to just get out there. And then I had to work. So I got my gear all ready late Friday night, like 11 o'clock at night. Went through the cupboards, found what I could. I had to work all day Saturday. On my lunch break, I'm at the grocery store, like, looking for inspiration. So this is what I came up with. So I've got an instant rice meal, with Chinese fried rice, and then teriyaki beef jerky to add to it. And then for dessert, I've got some 2-bite brownies that unfortunately got swooshed in my pack. So this says basically add 2 cups of water, a little bit of oil or butter, bring to a boil, simmer for about 15 minutes, then let sit and then go. So I think what I'm going to do is bring it to a boil, get it started. I'm going to rip up some of the teriyaki beef jerky into smaller pieces and throw it in to go with it as well. We'll see how it goes. And it says 500 milliliters of water. And again, using the measuring lines on the side of my water bottle. And get that pretty darn close to perfect. There. Ooh, there's a flavor packet. Doesn't really smell like anything yet. Alright, so we're going to get that boiling. And I'll check back in a little bit when it's a little farther along. Strong smelling. I've never done this before, and I suppose I could just eat the jerky separate from the rice, but I'm kind of hoping with it being teriyaki flavored, it might flavor the rice up a little bit more. I think that's probably good. Try a little piece here. Nice. That's very flavorful. Yeah. So I'll add that to my rice dish, and hopefully it'll soften up and be nice texture in the meal. I've got the extra for snacks around the fire later. Alright, we're up to a boil. I'm going to add my teriyaki beef jerky. Hopefully it'll soften a bit. Alright. Oh yeah, that thickened up nicely. So I'm going to let it stand for a few minutes as per the instructions, and it'll thicken up even more. That's not too bad. It's pretty good. The jerky softened up really nice. This is going to be a filling dinner. It's good. If I'd had more time, could have brought more vegetables to add to it, but it's good. Hot. Beaver is right. He was right off the campsite. think he's curious. Alrighty, so it's second night. This evening was pretty quiet. I had dinner and burned some firewood, and it got really quiet on the lake, which is nice. And watched the sopping turtles kept coming up to the surface, which is really cool. And the beavers just going back and forth all night, but no breeze. Very few bugs, which was nice. Until just about half an hour ago, and then the bugs just like were insane. So it was time for bed. So yeah, it's about 10 o'clock or so, so not too late, but I am pretty tired. It was a long day. And tomorrow, have to get up and get packed and get out of here, and trying to get home around noonish or so. So it's not as many wildlife making noises tonight, so hopefully a better sleep, which will be good. Yeah, and I adjusted my hammock today. I found I kept sliding to the middle, so I just had to put the rope at my head down a couple of inches, and now it's just like perfect. It's awesome. So this tiny adjustment feels really good. So good night, everybody. See you in the morning. On the last day, the birch bark finally goes for me. Nice. Alright, so I am basically all packed up, just a couple kitchen items here I have to throw in my pack, and then I'll be ready to go. Had a great sleep last night. Only woke up a couple times to, the beavers flapping their tails or the whippoorwills. But yeah, otherwise I just slept like a baby. It was great. I was tired. I needed that sleep, sure. It's a little breezy today. I don't think it's anything to be too concerned about, but I am still getting used to paddling the inflatable kayak. It's probably nothing I need to be worried about, but I don't know if I'll be doing a lot of filming while I'm paddling out. I just don't want to risk the camera going in the drink, basically. So, some things that, I like to watch a lot of camping videos, and I love when people tell me, or tell us, the viewers, what they would change, what they do differently, what they learned. So, I thought I would talk about that a little bit. What I would do differently, knowing now what I didn't know 2 days ago, I would have gone farther. I wouldn't have stayed on the same site for two nights. That was a cautious decision on my part. I wasn't sure about the inflatable. I wasn't sure about myself. If the first night was just awful, I didn't want it to be a huge trek to get out. But now, knowing that, the inflatable was awesome, and I'm perfectly fine, got lots of sleep, was very comfortable, I'm happy with my gear, I kind of wish I'd gone farther. Yesterday afternoon, partway through the afternoon, I was pretty bored. I kind of just laid around, read a book, and that was nice for a while, but I prefer to keep moving, so I think, going forward next solo trip, I'll probably, different site for every night. It's not going to be a big, long, rigorous trip by any chance. That's not happening. But it'll be, it'll change it up. It'll keep me interested, keep me motivated. And I enjoy camp chores. That's the stuff I like to do. I like setting up and tearing down and collecting firewood and, setting up camp and doing all those things. So when it's all done, I'm just kind of sitting there like, all right, what now? When there's other people around, they can kind of entertain you. But when you're on your own, you're just kind of, sitting and staring. Took lots of pictures, which was nice. But yeah, I think next time I'll definitely go farther. Menu was fine. I had lots of food. Didn't overpack. Pretty good for a very last minute trip. I think there'll be more solo last-minute trips in my future, so I might stockpile a few dehydrated meals in my freezer at home just so I can just grab and go. I'm not panically going through the grocery store before leaving. There's no gear that I wish I had that I left at home, and there's no gear that I brought that I didn't use. I feel like I did a really good job of shaking down my pack and figuring out what to bring. My shelter was a little bit of overkill. The bug zone with the hammock inside. You know, I originally just had the hammock packed, and then I thought, oh, what if it's windy? I'll get cold. So I had a lightweight nylon tarp packed. And then I got reading online, all these people going on and on who'd been in this park in the previous couple of days, and the bugs are apparently horrendous. So then I thought, well, I've got the bug zone. It's designed to have a hammock in it. I'll bring it. And I think the first night, having that walls around me, even though they were only mesh, like just seam mesh, definitely made me feel more secure. That's not rational. It's just nylon. I mean, and a squirrel got in, anything could get in. But it definitely just made me feel better, more comfortable. But going forward, I don't think, that was overkill. I mean, the bugs, on the portage, they were bad because you're stirring up the undergrowth. And last night, after sundown, they came out for sure. But I mean, I was going to bed anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm really happy with all my gear. In terms of filming on my trips, I definitely wish I had a couple more extra batteries for my camera. This camera, I have to plug the power bank into the camera to charge the battery. So actually, I've got great reception up here at this campsite. I actually went on Amazon yesterday morning and bought 2 more batteries for my camera and a separate little USB charger so that at least I can still use the camera while the other batteries are charging. So that'll be here on Wednesday, which is nice. Yeah, I'm really happy with this trip. Not a lot of things I would change up. Oh, hammock straps. I'm going to look at getting some proper hammock straps. I'm not a fan of the paracord that came attached to the hammock at all. And I'd forgotten how short pieces were that were attached to it. So I actually ended up using another piece of paracord that I originally wanted to hang my food with. And that was why the knot slipped and ended up falling. Anyways. But yeah, proper hammock straps, nylon straps. I'll have to take a look and get some of those. But yeah, I'm going to enjoy my coffee and finish up my oatmeal here, and then I'll be packing up and heading home. So yesterday I was talking about bears and things to do to prevent bears from coming to your campsite, and I mentioned bacon. And if you think it smells good to us, it smells really good to the bears. Well, I can smell bacon cooking. And about 1 kilometer that way are a pile of cottages. So that just gives you an idea. It's like the breeze just came through and I got this huge waft of cooking bacon. And I'm just like, wow. If me, a human, with my little nose, can smell that from 1 kilometer away, I can imagine with the wildlife what they're smelling. It must smell really good. So just thought I'd share that. Of course, it's just a big tease. I had oatmeal for breakfast. Now I can smell bacon. That's just great. We're all cleaned up. Double checking, nothing's left behind. Ready to load up the boat. Well, I'm not going to show me getting into the boat because that's really not graceful at all. You don't need to see that yet. Alright, so I'm going to try once again to single carry this portage. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I think I'm probably going to make it halfway with everything and then have to drop the boat and carry on and then come back to the boat. But that's not that big of a deal. I'm not in too much of a rush, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I was able to get all my stuff packed down just into the one bag, which will make it a lot easier regardless of whether I single or double carry. So we'll see how it goes. Well, I can't believe it, but I managed to single carry. I took some breaks and switched up my arm, carrying the kayak several times. Now I'm just negotiating. I'll show you. It is very steep down to the water. Yeah, pardon my runny nose. There's a lot of pollen in the air. All right, just about there. I know I keep going on about the pollen, but check it out. Just from getting it out of the kayak and picking up the gear, I'm just coated in it. Normally I'm not even allergic or sensitive to it, but it is very sticky and it's all in my sinuses, that's for sure. Down to my shorts now. It's a beautiful sunny day. We're paddling out. I still can't believe I managed that portage in a single carry. Another thing I was mentioning earlier about stuff I would change, things I would do differently. The pack that I have is definitely going to be on a future video for gear maintenance and repair, because it's not only does it have a hole in it from a trip years ago that a red squirrel chewed through it, it's missing a buckle on its waist belt. And that waist belt, when you're portaging, that takes all the weight off your shoulders. So, there's like a random drum in the water. Crazy. Sorry, that was distracting. Big broken water drum in the, probably from somebody's dock. Anyways, as I mentioned, that waist belt, hip belt, takes all the weight off your shoulders. So not having that on the portage and then, all that, I don't have a lot of upper body strength really, so definitely more in my hips and my legs. That would have been a huge bonus as well. It would have made that portage a lot easier going in. But today it wasn't too bad. I mean, I just took my time and went slow, and yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that. There's a lot of noise on the lake. I think it sounds like somebody's chainsawing something. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to turn the camera off because I doubt you can hear me anyways. So I'm almost back at the put-in. The boat just spun. The put-in's right there. It's only a couple hundred meters away. I probably won't do any more filming because there's a lot of cottages up here and people are up here, and I'll just be that crazy woman out in the boat talking to herself. But I had an amazing trip. This was a game changer. Like solo camping. I'll be doing a lot more of it this season, that's for sure. Faced all my fears and my worries about, would I be able to do the portage, do the paddle, how would the boat be, all those what ifs. It all turned out. I felt very prepared, and and next time I'll be even more prepared. So there'll definitely be more videos of me solo tripping, as well as tripping with friends. So yeah, this was a good one. I definitely recommend, Coon Lake access, Little Turtle, Adams Lake. There's lots to see. You know, and if it was fishing season, oh, it'd be amazing because I saw so many fish jump, it's not even funny. So anyways, have a great day, everybody. I'm going to paddle the last little bit and load up and head home and call it a day. And you know, if there's anything you want to see in the videos, camping stuff, camping related things, I'd love to show it to you. So put it in the comments, you know, ideas, things you'd, you know, if there's areas you'd like me to explore in the park, you want to see me build stuff, aspects of camping that you're curious about, you want to know more about, ask your questions, give me some ideas, and I'll be sure to show you. So anyways, have a great day, and we'll see you soon. Oh my gosh, look at my truck, look at the pollen. I might need my snow brush.